Hello, welcome to EoK Podcast. Today is our meet and greet, first Wednesday of the month. We're down at the Knoxville Entrepreneur Center with a nice crowd of people. Hello, good morning.
Hey.
If you haven't been here for our meet and greets, the way we do this is each person will come up, take a chair, they'll get interviewed, short interview, just ask them a few questions. The person that gets interviewed stays here. The person that asks the questions leaves, right? I think that's how it works. We'll see how that goes, if that works. We might have to circle back around and double up the whole thing. I'm not sure exactly how the timing works out. So I want to thank our wonderful sponsors. First, thanks to Knoxville Entrepreneur Center for letting us have the space today. It's a nice lighting, nice internet. We've got a pretty screen up there that everybody can see what's going on. I was wanting to display websites and all that information, but I'm not sure how to do that wirelessly across the Apple TV. So right now it just shows everything that my computer's looking at. But whenever I get back there, after I leave up here, I can pull your websites up and show those off a little bit. I want to thank Pershing Yoakley & Associates, pyapc.com. If you need any accounting assistance or business consulting, check them out online, pyapc.com. Also, thanks to Ludica Neely Group for all of our intellectual property needs. So if you have a trademark, patent, copyright, or just questions about can I protect what I've got, check them out online at lng-patent.com. And we have a brand new sponsor today. Robbie Robinson has ventured out onto his own and is a intellectual property attorney that's actually been my intellectual property attorney for a very long time now. And Robbie has his own firm, and you're on Gay Street. And what's your URL for your website? I guess you'll tell everybody whenever you get there.
RobinsonIPlaw.com.
RobinsonIPlaw.com. So we want to thank Robbie Robinson for being a sponsor of EoK also. And thanks to Neighborhood Nerds, who provide IT support for your residents and your small business for a small monthly fee, online at nnerd.com or schnerd.com. Either one of those will get you there.
They're going to be doing a tech talk once a month for EoK meetings.
That's right. Since we're a sponsor, we've given some money to EoK to kind of help keep the lights on and the bandwidth going and all that jazz. But also, Victoria said, well, I want them to step up and do the tech talk each time we have a tech talk also. So Tommy will be here, or Brent, or Zach, or maybe even me to do a tech talk.
Well, it's nice to have a nerd representative.
That's right. I'm here, the head nerd, to represent Neighborhood Nerds. Also, I want to thank fairmechanics.com, another wonderful sponsor. Fairmechanics.com helps mechanics actually locate you. So if you have a problem with your car, you put it online, say I need a new set of tires, new set of brakes, whatever, and the mechanics in the area will bid on that project for you. So it's a great way for you to quickly shop around for price and the best mechanic. Then you can check them out on star rating, price, distance from you, and decide who you want to work with.
I had my husband sign up for it, and he likes it. Every time there's something that he needs for the car, he'll just go on fairmechanics.com and say, how much is this? What do I do with that? And he's been using it, so.
It's a cool
well, I
service.
make him, but.
It is a cool service. And I want to start off with thanking you, Victoria, for being our event coordinator. I keep wanting to call you director of something, but event coordinator.
That's later.
That's later. Vice president, head person. But you've been coordinating these meetings, you've been coordinating weekly meetings, and you've been working on the quarterly event.
Yes.
And the quarterly event is coming up October 8th.
Yes.
Tuesday at Tech 2020. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, it's going to be at Tech 2020 building in Oak Ridge. It's an all-day event that starts at 9 o'clock and will be going to 4. We have a lineup of great speakers, and it's going to be a panel discussion that day, so it's going to be very exciting. I think that you guys can't miss it. And well, you can't just leave. Yeah, it's a surprise.
We're not even going to tell you what
Yeah, we're not going to tell. No, it's really no. We made a little. We're going to have a poster. Please, tell all your friends and your associates about it, because we do want to have a good turnout. We've made some invitations, so if you guys want to grab some invitations and give them out to people as you network and until October 8th. That would be great. You can pick some up on the way out. And also we'll have some posters hung up at local area businesses that look out for those. So it's very important to promote it and tell people about it. So please do tell people about it. That will help too. It's just a great thing, a resource for all of us. It's about social media and how to help your clients become passionate fans, because I think that, that's the key to getting people talking about what you do to other people, so it makes you more successful. And we want you to be more successful because you're EoK's greatest resource, and we want you to succeed.
I mean, I think it's going to be an incredible topic. It's, help your clients become your fans. And that's, when you talk to people and you say, what's been the most effective advertising that you've had? Almost always it's word of mouth. You hear people say the best form is word of mouth because it's somebody that's used that company before, used you before. They trust you, that person trusts them, and they make a direct referral. And those referrals are just incredible. And we're looking at it, we kind of step back and say, well, how can we as business owners, entrepreneurs, help those clients that love us and want to talk about us? How can we give them a voice? How can we give them incentive? How can we give them the tools they need so they can actually go out and be those cheerleaders for us? So this event on the 8th is about, we're going to have multiple speakers coming in, and they're going to talk about, why are you special? Why do people love you so much? What is it that you do that's better than anybody else or different than anybody else? And how do you stand out in the whole environment? What's different about you from your competitors? And then how do you talk to your existing clients and give them the tools they need that they can go out and actually intelligently talk about you and sell your services on your behalf? They want to. All of our clients want to go out and help us be more successful, but we've got to give them the tools and the voice to do that. And then we're going to talk about incentives and how do you create incentives for those clients? And maybe it's not dollars, maybe it's gold stars, maybe it's king for a day or queen for a day or something like that of Neighborhood Nerds or your company or whatever. But I think it's going to be incredible because I've talked to all the speakers and they're very fired up about it. They all have this passion for creating culture in company, finding your unique selling proposition and what's special about you and your business, and motivating other people to act. So it's going to be a very cool event. I'm going to get up, I'm going to let you stay here, we'll let Richard come up, and you can ask Richard a few questions, and then we'll cycle through and get this thing done.
Good morning.
Good morning, Richard.
Good morning.
It's nice having you here with us. You're going to tell us what your plans are, huh?
You don't have time for all this, but I will tell you, I even wrote a script. My name is Richard Steinle. I have a website that I think is spectacular. I've been a member of EoK for a long, long time, and there are a couple of things that have motivated me through the years. One is Peter's Principles. How many people have read Peter's Principles? Peter's Principle is simply stated as, there's a book on the subject, but they use a school teacher as an example. Point being that everybody is sooner or later elevated to their level of incompetence. So that means that, say, a school teacher that loves children and so forth, does an outstanding job, they push her into being a manager, and she's poor at that, she loves the children. But taking that a step further, it means that most likely everybody you ever worked for was incompetent. So your choice then is to become an entrepreneur and do your own thing. So that's one of the things that has motivated me over the years. There's another Murphy's Law or something like that about communicating. And the more we're able to communicate, the less communicating we actually do. And they cite the elevator. If you're in the elevator with one person, you might say hello. But if the whole thing is full of people, you have an opportunity to speak to 15 people, nobody says a word. So the opportunity's there, but so that's one thing. Now, my particular, we'll call it Richard's law, has evolved over the years, that says the more we're able to communicate and make all these spectacular things, the reverse is true of the audience. In other words, you have to make firecrackers and naked girls and everything else to get anybody's attention. So the two things kind of work against each other. So through it all, I've developed a plan that I think I'd like you to participate with. Victoria's asked me to present it, and we don't have time to do all that. But what I want to do is appeal to the audience, the EoK's members, to work with me to make a 2-minute blog that is spectacular, funny, I call it an interest grabber, and then shut up. If you want to know the price and the details, they can click to the website. But we'll have a series of exciting things. They're either, they don't have to be funny, they might be very dramatic. For instance, this morning I got an invitation to get involved with something called pyrolysis, which is somebody has invented a miniature thing you put plastic in and you get back oil. Put it in your backyard and save the world and the canaries and everything else. I've been beating that drum for about 10 years. And so that's an example. So we'll do that and have a complete program to do it.
I've got your website up so everybody can see it.
All right.
And they contact you, and do you work with them like a script, what they want to communicate, and build the videos with them and the blog articles?
That's the bottom line. We're not going to come in here half-cocked. In other words, if somebody wants to call me, email me, or tackle me on the street or whatever, we'll develop a program for I say 2 minutes. It's 1 to 3 minutes, or half a minute. And then we'll present.
Are these infomercials, or are they just trying to be viral videos to draw attention?
I guess that's the word, viral. What they do with it. Actually, I'm plagiarizing something that was made available maybe 30 years ago in New Jersey, where you present your thing and hopefully the key to it is you ask why am I here? Do I need money? Do I need backing? It goes without saying you need exposure. So, but that exposure in my 2-minute blog will include a statement from yourself of why you're here. Why'd you get up this morning?
Have you seen the Dollar Shave Club?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Well, theirs started with a video. That's really what attracted people to them, was this video about their service. And the video was like going viral, and people were just loving the video and going to check his website out, where he sells memberships for razors. I think it's a Dollar Shave Club. Yeah, the video, like he's doing the same kind of thing.
Oh yeah, that's really funny. I've seen those.
The audience not going up there. Oh, the TV's probably turned in. But it's funny. I mean, the guy just walks through and like talks to you about. I mean, I guess if you were just watching the video, you would know what the product is. It's more funny than anything.
And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19, go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis.
Do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, Papa! Stop paying for shit tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship it right to you. We're just selling razors. We're also making you young. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
Well, that's a good example. You didn't buy anything, but you watched it. And hopefully we can conspire to make it fast-moving. Say, well, Channel 10 has already agreed to do this. And so put it on, say, 30 minutes to an hour, one right after the other. If you got a pencil, you can write down whatever you want to. So it's a niche within a niche designed to get somebody to look at your website. So everybody in the room probably has 2 or 3 websites, which I do. Nobody looks at it. So that's what gave birth to the idea, get somebody to look at the damn thing, and then you're on your own. I'm not going to help you with your website. I'm going to help you get somebody to look at the damn thing. So that's it, the essence of why I'm here, and we'll probably present this a little more in detail and maybe give you some examples next week.
All right. Thank you.
Okay?
Where's your statement? You're out.
Okay, I'm out.
You're in there.
You're up. Okay.
Hello,
I'm Richard, what's your name?
I'm Devin Campbell.
Tell the camera there.
Devin Campbell.
And why are you here?
I am here because I'm a web developer. I specialize in building sites that work well on desktop computers and mobile devices.
Great. So you're a natural partner. You can
Yeah.
make it happen. If
Absolutely.
anybody out here can think of something.
Sure, absolutely.
Good. Tell us how you do
Well, it's a pretty complex process. The biggest thing is trying to find out who the audience is for the website, so you'll know who you're talking to. And from there, it's a lot of technical stuff that probably nobody wants to hear about.
Oh, we love your technical stuff. What's your website, Daniel?
It's raddevon.com, raddevon.com.
it. So are you here looking for customers?
Well, I mean,
Building
yeah, but
building
or
bridge
just
sites.
to talk to people and see what everybody else is doing, sort of see how we can, how what I'm doing fits with what other people are doing.
Well, needless to say, it's back to Richard's principle.
Right.
Somebody has to actually do something.
Mm-hmm.
And what does that mean? Come to your office?
Just go to my website, and there's a form on there to contact me and get in touch. We're looking at my portfolio now, some websites I've done in the past. I don't know if you can, but if you can grab the side of that window and just resize it down as small as it'll go, you can kind of see what my website is going to look on a phone or on a smaller device, because that's when you go from a desktop to a phone, you've got a more narrow viewport. So this is sort of an example of what I do. Everything scales down, and you still have basically the same content. So you're not getting redirected to a kiddie version of the website that's going to work on your phone.
Excellent.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll just say thank you kindly.
Thank you.
We'll get a.
We're just stepping out.
Okay.
You call on anybody that you perceive would work with you.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Hi, David.
Hello.
I'm Jill Green.
Hey, Jill. So tell us about what you do.
What I do as of yesterday is a writing and editing service. The title is Word Nerd, and the website is imawordnerd.com. And we've already talked about websites and how I need help with my website because I do words, I don't do technical.
Right, and how I need help with my words.
Yes.
So.
And if you're looking at the website right now, that was me in all of my glory, I think in 5th grade, and you can see I had no choice but to become a nerd. I was born a nerd.
So, Jill, give us some examples of what sort of services you would offer.
Services that I would offer, there are businesses who either don't know what to say or don't have time to say it. So blogs, website content, blogs, brochures that you hand out to your customers. If you're going to a trade fair or something like that, you need something to hand out to somebody. You do your thing, I do my thing. I can write up something for you to hand out. If you do write it, a second set of eyes never hurt anybody. And think back about something that you've written and you've gone back to look at it later, and we were just talking about this earlier, like what was I thinking? You either had a typo, you put the wrong word in there, or it just doesn't make as much sense as you thought it did originally.
Yeah. Words are hard. The English language is a complex animal.
Well, it's constantly evolving.
Right.
The word silly used to mean beautiful. It doesn't mean beautiful anymore.
Interesting.
So, if you go back, my first blog is that twerking is acceptable. The Oxford English Dictionary just last week added the word twerk and selfie, along with about 40 other words, to the library. They've been used, but they weren't acceptable words until last week.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel
How do I feel
about
about twerking?
No. About words coming out of sort of popular culture, and
I think it's inevitable, and like it or not, it's going to happen with new inventions, and that's part of what the blog is about. It's not about twerking. It's about the evolution of words. And websites, technology is the creator of a lot of the new words that we have. And if you look through Oxford's list that was released last week, a lot of those are technology related. Deal with it is how I feel about it. It's going to happen.
It's changing.
Yeah, it's coming.
if you could give one tip to someone who's maybe not great with language all the time, just to help them improve their general writing, what would it be?
Read more. That's what we want to, yeah.
Very cool. Awesome.
That is excellent. Thank you.
I will concede the chair.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Who's up next?
Mandy?
There you go.
Hello, thank you.
We meet again.
My name is Dan Grable. I own a summer camp and retreat center called Camp Manitoba. So CampManitowa.com. Camp Manitoba has been a professional, lifelong dream of my partner and I for many years. We just finished up our 3rd summer running summer camp, and it's a whole lot of fun. We are on one of Illinois' largest lakes, so we offer a lot of water skiing, water sports. We've got a really wonderful 50-foot high ropes course, a 400-foot zip line, and And so we really provide a wonderful experience for kids throughout the summer. I think we always like to say that a number of camps have a lot of great activities and a lot of fun things to do, but I think what we like to try to separate ourselves from other camps is our personal service to campers and families. We're a little smaller than other camps, so we feel like we can give parents really individual experience. We've got a pretty active Facebook page throughout the course of the summer, so we joke that parents, their work production goes down dramatically when their kids are at camp because they're on Facebook all day and they're not doing their work during the day, watching their kids have a good time at camp. We also run retreats in the fall and the spring, so we're putting on a really neat women's retreat this weekend where we offer yoga and massage therapy and trips to the winery, campfires, s'mores, kayaking, ziplining. It's really a wonderful weekend that we put on each fall and spring. And then we host schools and church groups and youth groups and anybody else that wants to come out and run our facility. So we're having a good time and we love camp.
Yeah, that sounds great.
I have a few questions. What is the smallest number of campers that you could take in over a weekend?
We, we're hosting a birthday party in a couple weeks with like 10 kids. So we're really, willing to bring a small group in, show them a good time, and hopefully.
And you can accommodate up to how
We can accommodate up to about 250 people at any one time.
So could you open it up to maybe a reception? Does it have to be an overnight event?
Oh, no, definitely. We can host day-long events, weddings, any kind of field trips that a school might have. We can really show them a good time throughout the day, too. Maybe coming from Knoxville, that might be a little tough to show somebody a fun day because it's about 6 hours away. But there's some local schools and local groups that'll come for the day.
Can you help to arrange transportation for?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Any Knoxville families wanting to come send their kids to camp this summer, we will offer transportation for you if you want, or you can certainly drive your kids to camp. Yes, we do offer transportation throughout the whole Midwest for kids to come to camp.
All right. It's the whole package.
It's the whole package.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
All right.
Set my kids up.
Amanda, you want to go?
Sure.
Amanda's on the way up. What's the website?
Studio Road, RHOAD,
Studio.
RHOAD.com. Hi. So I'm Amanda Martin. StudioRoad.com is my company that I run with my fiance. We are a digital creative agency. We specialize in motorsports, but we do all types of stuff with small businesses as well. What I do is basically community management, online reputation management, and content marketing.
Excellent. So what would be an example of a project you're working on right now?
Right now we're actually working on, with a wheel manufacturer that makes wheels for cars, and we're working on a contest to integrate into their social media to boost basically their followers and their likes and things like that.
How do you do that?
Depends on what they want to do. We actually just finished a similar contest with another company, and it was in February, so we centered it around Valentine's Day. And it was called How Much Do You Love Your Car? You had to show us an image depicted how much you loved your car. And it had to be appropriate to put online. So, and in that, we actually, the company gained over 5,000 fans on Facebook. And the winner got a set of wheels for the car. So it was very, very well received, and we got some very interesting images and some really good ones too.
What would you say is the most exciting part of your business and maybe the most challenging part?
Most exciting part is we get to go to the racetrack to work. That's one of the main things. When we do work with motorsports teams or anything like that, we get to go to the racetrack when they're near here. So with Bristol and Indy and Atlanta within and Charlotte within driving distance, it's pretty interesting. The hardest part is actually reaching out probably like I said, we specialize in motorsports. We have some local tourism base clients. For the motorsport side, I would say probably the hardest part would be to be getting in touch with people who make the decisions, because a lot of those have celebrity status or whatever it is you want to call it. So it's harder to get to the people who make the decisions. I think that's probably the hardest part.
What is, in general, your approach to marketing your business and getting to those hard-to-reach people?
We do a lot on social media. We've gathered, I think, a pretty big following on social media just because of the way we view the racing industry. We look at it a little differently than most people do. Because we specialize in it, I believe that we can kind of push the envelope a little bit more with the kind of work we do and things like that.
Okay.
Excellent. What else can you tell the world watching us right now about your business?
I'm one of the speakers for the Q4 workshop. I'm going to be, the title of my presentation is going to be How to Make Your Brand a Rock Star. So it's going to be about community management and, really doing content marketing, how you can really make your brand stand out from everyone else without doing traditional things that most people usually do.
Excellent. And Mary's up. Website?
primefitnessforwomen.com.
Right.
So what I do is I work with people, women mostly, online and some in the flesh, and I help them burn fat, transform their bodies, and speed up their metabolism. So that's my shtick, and as I was telling Victoria earlier, I try to distinguish myself by being a no BS fat loss and fitness coach and trying to puncture everyone's bubble when they believe that they can lose 30 pounds in 30 days. It's not gonna happen. Or if you did, it wouldn't be 30 pounds you wanted to lose. It'd be a lot of water, a fair amount of muscle, and a little bit of fat. Not good. So anyway, what should I say?
Well, you were talking with me and Victoria earlier about how everyone has such a misconception of certain things.
Right, right.
So what do you think is the biggest misconception, besides what you just said, in the fitness industry?
Right. Gosh, I think that this is what I call the big fat lie. I think people believe, no pun intended, I think people believe that's why we as consumers keep buying diet books. We keep buying these idiotic magazines with, here's what I think is funny. You see a magazine on the newsstand and it has a gigantic cake on the cover, and then it'll say, lose 5 pounds fast in the headlines. But the biggest misconception is the idea that there's something magical or special about, like, oh, Atkins, there's something magical about that makes you lose weight, or, HCG, or, name any fad diet that you want to. Paleo, gluten-free, there's something magical about that. No. The only thing that makes you lose fat is a reduction in either a reduction in calories consumed or an increase in calories expended through exercise. That's why it happens. But there's a smart way and an idiotic way to try to cut those calories. And what I try to do is help women take a sensible calorie cut so they're not starving, eat foods that make them, that help them stay satisfied when they're dieting, so they're not walking around, dreaming about chips and beer and pizza and things like that. But I think that's a big one, the big fat lie, the idea that there's something special, unique, and magical about certain diets that will just make you lose weight. No. If you reduce calories, you're going to lose fat. So that's one of them.
And you said you help women online as well as in person. How do you do your stuff online?
I teach courses, I sell information products. I teach them live online, and then once a course is completed, I'll sell it as a package. Like my body transformation boot camp's my most popular program. So if you go to my website today and you buy that program, you have instant access to all the recordings. I've got a program starting in a couple of weeks that I'll deliver live through webinars, and then once it's done, you'll be able to purchase it as a series of recordings. Now I also have VIP clients that I work with in person if they're in Knoxville, or by Skype if they're in the UK or something like that. So I really like working with people online because you can help people all over the world. But there's nothing like actually being able to, as I like to say, get your hands on them in the gym and help them reach their goals. So, yeah.
I was doing this body fat thing and it was like over 50%. Is that bad?
Oh, no, that's great. You should really shoot for 70 or 80%. No, I don't think you're over 50%. I think the numbers must be wrong. What have you got? That's the chubometer.
A chubometer.
Yeah. One of my customers called that the chubometer, and I really liked it. Yeah, but that body fat estimating calculator, well, you need measurements. So go and take your measurements, Leo, and put them in there. And if it tells you 50%, then you're in so much trouble. And you better call me immediately. Do not wait. Do not wait. But I put that. I like to encourage people to check their body composition because everybody's so fixated on the scale. Well, you could lose 5 pounds and think, yay, I lost 5 pounds. Well, if you lost 5 pounds of muscle, bad, terrible. You've just slowed your metabolism. But if your scale weight might not change at all, but your body composition could have changed. You could have lost fat and gained muscle, and then you'd be leaner than you were before and smaller. So anyway, yes, that's the chubometer. Everyone is welcome to go to primefitnessforwomen.com / what does it say? Estimate hyphen
Your body fat.
your body fat. Yeah, find out exactly how chubby you are.
Any volunteers?
Yeah, where's the measuring tape? I'll start bringing my measuring tape to meetings and I'll be like, let's find out where you are.
Don't you have one of those caliper
You
kind of
can
things too? Like
measure them in.
I do have
pinch
calipers.
around on you?
I do have calipers, but the most accurate pinchers are people who have done thousands of caliper measurements. And so the calipers are only as good as the person wielding them. So I like this is called the Navy method, and I like it because people can do it in the privacy of their homes. And they can, so if you're dieting, I would want you to run your body composition about every month or so to make sure what's going on. Am I losing fat? Good. Am I maintaining my level of muscle mass? Good. Am I gaining muscle? Even better. So that way they know whether that scale change is actually doing them any good or not. So.
I was trying one of these low carb things.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not working for me.
Well, it's very hard to stick to.
Haven't eaten any bread, haven't eaten any pasta, what was bad though is like I'd done this for like 4 or 5 days.
Uh-huh.
And then I was out at a restaurant and ordered a beer. And they was like, my wife, you can't order a beer when you're, and I was like, you're kidding me?
Yeah.
There's carbs in beer? And she's like, yeah. I was like, I can't do this.
I know, this is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. Well, yeah, I was out with a friend a couple of weeks ago, and he thought he was low carbing, and then he ordered orange juice, and I'm like, dude, that's pure sugar. What's with that?
That's the thing that's killing me is not, because I thought fruit is good for you, but you can't eat any fruit. It's like,
well, let's talk. Let's talk. Yeah, and the thing is, people think low carb dieting will just, as I say, magically make you lose fat only if you are eating fewer calories. And usually that does happen with a low carb diet because you're eating so much protein that you're highly satisfied. Your appetite is reduced, and that's why, oh, goody, you're putting up one of my free opt-ins. Yeah, I have lots of little free gifts that I give away. Let me mention, just for the gearheads here who might be interested, that opt-in page was created with a service called Lead Pages. And though that format, big picture and then just a simple box, those get terrific conversions, much better. I have some lead pages that are getting something like 67% conversions.
I think that's critically important for anybody to understand. It's
Yeah.
like not just web, but
Right.
any advertising piece you put out,
Right,
have
yeah.
a clear call to action.
Right.
You're not confusing the viewer, the visitor.
Right.
And wasting their time reading the entire page.
And it's easy to do that, but traditionally the advice that online marketers get is that you're supposed to do a squeeze page that has like a picture of the gift, bullet points. You're going to learn X, Y, Z, and I can tell you that these pages that are super simple, they get twice the conversion rates of the best old style squeeze pages I ever did.
You process the information faster.
Yeah, well, it's just, it's a no-brainer. You see an attractive picture and then just a tiny bit of text and you're like, yeah, I'll get that. I'll put in my name and email. So,
What's the service? that you
lead
mentioned?
pages,
Lead pages?
leadpages.net. It's I think it's $197 a year and well worth it, in my opinion. I've tried a lot of options for, for squeeze pages, a lot of different. I use Optimize Press, which is a classic, but it's really, really, really good. And they're constantly upgrading their service, constantly. They've just added split testing, so I really like the way they do business.
And you sound like you track everything too.
I do.
Like
Yeah.
analytics.
Yeah, and I do a fair amount of Facebook advertising too, and so, of course, I'm monitoring, how many, what's my click-through rate, and how many sales did I get, how many opt-ins, how many sales. I offer a lot of webinars as well, and so with webinars, it's all about numbers. How many people can I get registered for the webinar? Then can I get them to actually show up? Then can I get them to purchase? So it's like 3 stages. Yeah. So.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you, Barry.
Thank you.
Barry, you stay there.
Oh, okay. So I get to interview the next person.
You get to interview the next person.
Oh, this is so much fun.
And
Go ahead, I'm talking about the fire.
there's a fight for the seat.
A fight for the seat. Who will win?
We're all
All right.
All right, I'll be the spokesperson.
Website, Robinson.
IPlaw.com. Yep.
Well, so in a nutshell, tell us what you do.
Well, I'm an intellectual property attorney. I work with Robbie Robinson, and Robbie and I both came from the same firm, and Robbie actually started it about a month ago, and I joined last week. And I think we both kind of saw that through our experience at our old firm that maybe there was a little bit better way to do things and interact with clients. So we've made the leap. It's pretty terrifying to go from the steady position that we had to go out on our own, but we're very excited about it.
Great. Well, so what's different about you all? If I needed an intellectual property attorney, why would I choose you all?
Sure. Well, I think one of the things, at least that I saw from our old firm, and one of the frustrations that a lot of clients had was, I guess, the time it took to actually talk to your attorney and then interacting with that attorney. And in a bigger firm environment or a firm with many attorneys, you might call your attorney and they might be billing you for every minute of the time that you even are thinking about them. And
How do they know what I'm thinking?
Sure, and I mean, I think that what at least I've seen is that you really want to develop those relationships with your clients and not make them scared to call you or scared that whenever they call you to bounce an idea off of you or something like that they're not going to get a $200 bill just for bringing an idea to you. And I think we're hoping to encourage people to call us and talk to us and then develop that relationship, and that'll at least lead to a little more work and a little more development of their ideas.
Very cool. So,
I mean, for me, like I've worked with Luda Keneally Group and I've worked with this firm. Luda Keneally Group is a great firm, huge firm, lots of resources. But the difference between the two for me is just the intimacy of like Robbie's group. Like Robbie gets into your business, knows your business, and does all that interviewing, on the front end of what you are and who you are and what you're trying to accomplish,
right,
and what makes sense in your company. Like that, you have to define these categories that you're in for the type of business you're in, so you can protect your trademark or you can protect your copywriting or patent or whatever. And then, I like having that personal relationship, that personal touch with a smaller firm.
Sure, and we've done a few other things to incorporate a little bit more technology into our practice that helps us be a little more efficient and makes what we do a little more open to the client, so they can have a little more insight into the exact work that we're doing for them and be able to follow their matters a little more closely. So, I think that openness with the clients and developing that relationship with them is something that at least we're striving for.
Sure. Do you find that, does the average business person actually know what they need in terms of protection of their intellectual property?
A lot of times someone has a general idea and something they think they know the direction they want to take it, but it's definitely after we have a chance to sit down with them and talk to them about the idea and explain at least the process of what we can do, whether it's a patent or a trademark.
Right.
It certainly, in a lot of cases, may end up going a different direction than maybe our clients originally thought, but it's
Right.
definitely a helpful and a good discussion to have to be
Right.
to help them kind of focus the direction they do want to go.
Yeah, because, I mean, I'm guessing, I've spent all kinds of years in journalism, and you'd think I'd, I know how to not violate libel laws, but, beyond that,
Sure.
and I'm probably pretty average in not really understanding what it is you guys do.
So, yeah.
Now, what-
I think a big misconception, or was for me early on, was thinking that it was some kind of offensive weapon. Like this was a way to attack competitors and prevent them from entering the marketplace, so that your brand or your product can still be out there.
Yeah.
And Robbie early on said, it's more of a shield than a sword.
Right.
It's more to prevent those other, like say, wait a minute, you're trying to do something that I do and I'm known for doing. You need to stop that.
Right, right, yeah. So what do you guys do on social media?
Well, we have a Twitter account, and I believe we're working on the Facebook page. The Facebook page is up, and Robbie actively updates the Twitter page, I believe. I hope he does, because I'm not. But that's about the extent of it. We have, it's a little tricky for us as far as advertising and soliciting business go, because we're governed by the rules of ethics, and
Right.
we can't necessarily approach anyone and everyone about inviting them to do business with us. But I think through Twitter and Facebook, we at least get the word out about what we do, and give people the tools to gather more information if they want to find out more.
That's cool. Now, this is completely irrelevant, but I can't help but mention the fact that there was a very famous bodybuilder by the name of Robbie Robinson. I guess he was really hot back in the 80s and 90s. So when I hear Robbie Robinson, I think of this gigantic guy.
They could be one
Maybe
and the same.
Was that you?
No, I'm hot now.
You're right. The camera can't see you, but I can confirm he is totally hot.
Not a bodybuilder.
Well, Robbie was hot in the 80s and 90s too, so he could have been the same person.
Mary can change that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, if you want to be hot like Robbie, like the other Robbie Robinson, we'll talk.
There's somebody who won.
Very cool.
Do you have that trademark? Robbie Robinson.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's violating your trademark.
Yeah.
I'm upset right now.
Yeah.
Well, Matt's on there. You've got a Matt Goose.
That's right, other people. I'm now on the webpage.
We're still updating it because Matt just got on board.
And you wouldn't tell I'm part of this from the webpage, but...
We're just
there it is.
He just
Okay.
got.
I got a picture.
There you go. You're official now.
That's right, I'm
Yeah,
official.
excellent.
So, yeah, I'm excited about it, and I think it's going to be a good opportunity for us.
Excellent.
We're excited to do work.
Cool.
So what do you want visitors to your website to do, or what do you want people to do?
I think...
Free consultation.
That's right.
Yeah, the biggest thing, I guess, is to get them interested in seeing, how we can provide services to them. And we've got the different services that we offer on there as far as patent, trademark, and copyright go. And I think we want to give enough information to maybe help visitors think of any issues they might have, and then contact us really to kind of talk about it and see if it's something that we can help them with.
I was thinking about that lead pages that Mary mentioned. That's what you guys need. Like this could be Robbie here, kind of in a little tank top.
Yeah.
The tank top, the white
Yeah.
tank top, that's hot,
To protect your ID. Sign up here.
That's right.
Yeah,
Why not?
exactly.
Have you thought about putting a blog on there?
It's something,
That could be
sure
something
we've
they
thought
could-
about it.
Jill,
Yeah, I
Jill
think it
can
would
help
be
them with some
useful.
wording.
Yeah.
We're good at legalese language. We probably need someone like Jill to actually write it for us so people
There's some
enjoy
twerk.
reading it.
Put some twerk in.
Jill.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or create a video like the Dollar Shave Club, you know.
That's right.
That's it, I'll get people, have Jill twerking on there, and they'll drive stuff to the website.
It will.
Exactly.
I think it absolutely will.
Yeah, make it understandable to the normal, regular Joe Schmo.
You know, the difference within,
That's right.
you could use the blog to really,
Yeah.
or video even, to really just, you know, explain that and make it,
You know,
You have the sword and the shield thing going.
yeah.
you could launch an entire discussion about whether twerking could be copyrighted.
That's
You
right.
know?
That's true.
If it's choreographed, it could be.
The people in New Orleans who say that there was a big flap about this guy who's like a big twerking, I guess, instructor in New Orleans, who says, you know, well, basically we invented it, you know, Miley Cyrus didn't know what she was doing, you know, she should have called one of us, we would have taught her. So, yeah, so I think there's
something there.
a copyright thing here.
All right, thank you very much.
Yay! You get to be the interview guy.
And you're staying here and
Interview Robbie.
Jim. Yep, you can interview Rob.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, we're doing each other.
Ask Robbie.
Isn't it
Oh, good.
conflict of interest?
I've got some tough questions for you, so.
Yeah, well, you know what to ask.
He's gone if he asks me a tough question.
So I guess I went over my idea of what we're trying to do, but I mean, tell us a little bit about the firm that you started and what your goals are here.
I've no idea what the goals are other than to help the clients. I mean, we just want to make money, and we want to do it in the right way and help people. And you don't make money for a long period of time if you're not really helping people get to where they want to go. So our job is to know our area of expertise well, and to find out what it is that you as the client really wants and what you really need, because sometimes those two are not necessarily one and the same, and then trying to get you to that place from point A to point B. So we do patents, trademarks, copyrights. We do litigation related to those things, and patents don't affect everybody here, but I guarantee you that copyright and trademark law does. Every single person that's in this room, and in ways that you might not even realize. So, like for example, all of those photographs on the website, which those have to be licensed. If they're not licensed, then that's copyright infringement. So the ones that you'll see on there are we had to pay license fee for. So, and a lot of you probably know that, but that's just one example. But
Now, how as a smaller firm do you, because a larger firm would have this depth of resources. So how do you as a smaller firm handle like, CAD drawings for somebody, or, even creating sketches, helping them with that, some of the engineering design kind of stuff?
well, that's a good question. Your premise, I would challenge the premise. A larger firm has a depth of resources. What does that mean? They have a lot of books. I mean, what does it mean? And what I've found is that, now in the 21st century, running a law practice, and I'm still, working on that, it's a lot different than it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, because everything's a lot of things are cloud-based, and the cloud's highly secure, and you don't need all of that stuff. I mean, I think it's good to have math, because it's good to have more people look at something and have multiple eyes to look at things and check for different points of view, errors, that sort of thing. But as far as if you'll notice that I said we are a small and flexible IP law firm. That's because we don't have to go to a board and have something on Mount Olympus approved. We just figure it out. We figure out quick and we move, and that's flexibility that I think you have with this firm at this point that you might not have with other firms. So that's a pro, I guess. But as far as resources, we use the same kind of legal research tools. The same patent searching tools. So it's really the same tools. It's just, so I don't know when there's that premise that there's more resources available. I mean, where we came, there was no drafts person. We would always outsource it. So we still we'll outsource it to the same people. You know what I mean? So it's not like anything's changing. It's just that it's a different situation. And quite frankly, I think the overhead is better because we don't have all these hardware and hard copy deals going on. So it's a different world.
And what about, I mean, I think, I like that answer because I think that most of that stuff is outsourced, right? Like to the external resources, third parties to get things done. But the question about like litigation, like I've always heard, your patent is only as good as it's been defended. So like, how do you guys talk like being a small startup firm? You still bring like experience from just your career of litigating, successfully litigating and defending.
Well, let's see. So the question is, what's the question exactly? Like, how do we,
I'm saying you're still the same attorney that's at this large firm. You still have all the same experiences, even though it's like startup,
Yeah, I mean, there may be situations where you have a huge patent case, in which case, and a lot of times in a patent case, there's more than one firm involved, quite frankly. When you have a real big patent case, you're gonna see a couple, 2 or 3 firms probably listed on the plaintiff's side and 2 or 3 on the defendant's side. That's just the way it is. So that's, in the past, I mean, when I've dealt with patent litigation issues, they haven't really gone through trial, but I've managed those myself. And the courthouse is right across the street, so we can walk over there and do what we need to do. So
that's excellent. Any other questions for Robbie? Thank you very much. You want to stay there and ask Jim a couple of questions?
I'd love to.
Go on, Jim. It really gets in the nitty gritty of what he does.
Let me, I gotta get me one of these sides.
Tell me the website, the picture of that.
Okay.
The machine.
Golden Research .blogspot.com.
Well, Mr. Golden, welcome to another edition of EoK, finding out about James R. Golden and a small company that solves large problems. goldenresearch.blogspot.com. Jim, tell us why you do what you do.
Trying to stay out of jail.
That is an honest man.
Trying to feed the kids. No, people come to me and say, would you help me with this? Would you help me with that? Take me from one job. I go, wait, I'm not through. They can have it. Come over here and help us.
What is your favorite thing about what you do as a professional?
Just solving problems.
Tell us about those problems. What kind of problems do you solve?
Well, it started in the military, I think. I don't want to talk about the soapbox derby because we don't design and build our own cars anymore. That's a shame. But in 1964, I was playing on an intramural volleyball team with the Air Force. And I fell backwards trying to do a great saving shot onto the gym floor and broke my navicular. And I went to the hospital. I mean, I felt like it was broken. It was hurting a lot. The doctor told me I'd broken the only bone in my body that would never heal. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, when you become an adult, the blood supply that normally feeds that bone is cut off, and it only feeds from one end, and if you break it across the middle, chances are it won't heal. So after about 3 months of casts, he said, we leave in the cast for 9 months, and if it didn't heal, we'll put in an artificial bone. Of course, Strategic Air Command was fixing to drum me out because I couldn't climb ladders or I could, but they didn't want me climbing ladders with a cast on arm. So I asked the doctor if I could experiment. He said, you can do anything you want to for the rest of this period. So I talked him into letting me twist it up in a weird position that I thought would put pressure on the bone. And then as soon as I got out of the hospital, I cut the cast away so I could use my hand. And just the thumb was immobilized. And he said, come back in 2 weeks. And I came back in 2 weeks, and they chased me into the hospital going, he rode a Harley with a 50-pound clutch pull. And they were going to take Stripe, you know. And he cut my cast off and went down and took x-rays. And came back up, and he started putting the cast on. And I said, what are you doing, Doc? He said, well, it's probably in 1,000 pieces. And I went, did you look at the x-rays? I said, it's healed. Oh, he just got white-faced. And he said, I don't believe it. So anytime I see someone with what I call a limp wrist cast, I give them my card and say, if it doesn't heal, tell your doctor to give me a call. I'll show him how to fix that. But I don't know if anything was ever published about it, but I was very proud of myself for it. But
I'll give you at least one thumb up for that.
Tried to start the Motorcycle Safety Foundation, what has become the Motorcycle Safety Foundation, while I was in the Air Force, because so many airmen were being harmed in needless motorcycle accidents. And I wanted to train them. I grew up riding a motorcycle. They got their first job when they got in the military. They didn't know how to do anything. And so they were buying a motorcycle and riding at 100 miles an hour through the side of the car. So I tried to start that. Made a lot of people angry. Told them to turn on their headlights so we could see them. And when the Air Force got done with me, I took off with AT&T and traveled America in outside plant engineering. Had a wonderful time working with some of the finest people I've ever worked with in my life. Many of them from Alabama. So I like Alabama. Also like Tennessee.
Go be like Auburn engineers.
You know what Auburn stands for? AUBURN. Alabama usually beats us around November. And you know what UT stands for?
I don't.
Us too.
Us too.
My cousin is a professor at Auburn, and he taught me that. I use it with loving respect. The finest supervising engineer at AT&T that I ever worked with came from Auburn. Wonderful man. Designed a lot of what AT&T had back in the earlier days. But anyway, went to work for the phone company here in Tennessee eventually. Got involved with a group in Oak Ridge that were retiring people from the Manhattan Project era. And we were building steam cars, sort of as a therapy group. And I agreed to work with them if they would bring someone from Oak Ridge once a month or once every 2 weeks to lecture to us about something interesting they were doing at Oak Ridge. And that's how I got involved with this fluidized bed. They had W.H. Flashman, a wonderful, brilliant engineer. A lot of people don't understand this, but in large research companies, they'll have one really brilliant person, and then there's 99 underneath him that are just kind of gleaning off of him or that he mentors. And W.H. Flashman, Bill, was one of those engineers. Absolutely fascinating individual. I'm sorry, it's hard to talk about. He encouraged me to build the group encouraged me to build a small fluidized bed that Oak Ridge was working on it. They wanted me to demonstrate it to Steam Automobile Club of America because they use it all over the world, but nobody really talks about it. And they we're going to introduce it during our Energy World's Fair here. But the small model, when they tried to scale it down, didn't work. So I built one, and they made a big deal out of it. And I was burning high sulfur coal and capturing the sulfur in the bed material of this device that looks like an erupting volcano, but it's a much cleaner fire than any way we know how to build it. It can burn very toxic things in it and capture those toxins in the bed. There's a variety of uses, and like I said, it's a German and an Englishman both came up with it literally simultaneously in the 1920s. Odell and Winkler being the German. I don't know the patent history, but we got interested in fluidized beds after the oil embargo. So I built this thing, and mine worked a little bit too good. Shut down an $800 million project at Oak Ridge, and I've been public enemy #1 ever since. I wrote and prosecuted a patent. I didn't believe I'd really done anything that good, but the patent office asked me to come up and talk to them. And it was an emotional experience. They gathered all the examiners in the patent office together in an auditorium and asked me to talk about it. And so that was just one of my little projects. People come to me and ask me to do things. I work in the child care industry. I work with seniors and programs to give them with Alzheimer's is a big problem, and just all kinds of dementia that comes on people. And if we don't stimulate their minds, people begin to drift off. People sit in nursing homes and literally vegetate with a staff that's working themselves to pieces, trying to do things for people, but there are just not enough people to provide the kind of stimulation that people in nursing homes need. And so I volunteer, and I wish everyone out there would volunteer just once a month. If everybody went once a month and helped, can you imagine the influence that they would have?
Why don't you blog that, if you have a chance to blog that on the EoK website so people can read about it? Just start a discussion maybe, that there's just, you have forum, so you never really know. I mean, people might say, hey, that's a great idea, let me contact Jim and see what I can do.
That's wonderful. I wish I'd thought of it a long time ago. I've called radio stations where they have talk radio asking people to come and stimulate the minds of people, and usually they just get in an argument with me and say, "Yo, you can't tell people to visit nursing homes, they'll steal from them." Obviously they don't know much about the way nursing homes are operated.
Well, I encourage everyone here to use the EoK website, and Robbie Robinson's done that really well. I knew what you do and what's going on with you because of the information that you left on the EoK website through comments and blogs and discussions. So that way, people will have information about things that's important to you. Whether it's clubs, like you said you went to a writer's club, maybe you'll, find another club that's really good, blog about it. Or if there's something you want to do, blog about it at the EoK website. You might have people comment back. Maybe you'll make some connections. Maybe you'll enlighten someone, So, and that'll benefit not only what you're doing, but also the people who are coming.
Yeah, it just occurred to me, since my house burned mysteriously, I don't know how an electric company can miswire a pole in front of your house 3 times in 1 year, but now I no longer have a home. But do we have on our website, like all of these different sites we went to today, where they can just be highlighted that these people were maybe interviewed?
Yes.
Without having to go to each individual person or something, because These are fascinating people you have up here.
We can do that. We can just do a blog article that like kind of talks about highlights of the last meet and greet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to have somebody do that though.
Little link, and you can go
Find
over
somebody
and
who
click on their website instead of just.
If we knew someone that was a writer, that was good with words or something.
Yeah, if we need somebody like
And-
that,
and
that would
working.
be interested in sharing information,
We do a web person.
Yeah, like, or like a web person, yeah.
We have all the tools.
A web person. You know, just whatever you do best and whatever comes easiest to you, if you can, share that with EoK, we would appreciate that, because it affects not only you, also exposes you to other people. Very easily, it advertises what you do, it attracts people to you, plus it benefits EoK, so it's a ripple effect, and that's what we want to create. We want you to succeed by doing what you love to do, and display that, and give you a place where you can show off.
Excellent. I think that's great. Great way to transition out. Thank you, Jim. Hey, Robbie, you want to close us down? Thanks for joining EoK.
Thanks for joining EoK, episode number
What was it?
428.
289er. 428. See you next time.
No, wait, thank the sponsor.
We'd like to thank the many sponsors.
Especially your sponsor. Thank yourself.
The newest, I'd like to thank myself.
That's right.
The newest, Robinson IP Law
That's right.
is one. Luda Keneally Group is another. Both IP firms, and Fair Mechanics, where you can bid away, get the best price on a mechanic issue or an issue with your automobile or other thing that you drive around. And
We don't
we've
have my
got
car.
Neighborhood Nerds. Chief Nerd is here if you need IT issues and need your IT help. I know that that's something that we need often. And PYA, Pershing Yoakley and Associates, accounting. I don't know anything about taxes. Thank God for PYA, Pershing Yoakley. And is that all?
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. That's a wrap.
See ya.